Morning, gang. Here we go again. It's another week, the last week of October, as it happens. Good morning to you. It's Monday, the 26th of October, 2020. Welcome along to the Chapel Hill Marina. And this morning's United Kingdom talk coming to you from Lincolnshire this morning, boys and girls. Starting with, I find an incredibly bit of sad news, actually, this morning, which I saw break last night, just as we finished the bingo, and that is Frank Bough has died. Incredibly sad. He was one of those people that was on the telly a lot, not to the extent that they put a lot of the people on now, like Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield and people like that. He was on there quite a lot. And he had a really sad ending, and I think it's very, very unfair. I was watching the BBC Breakfast show this morning because he launched BBC Breakfast. It was called Breakfast Time in those days, and it had the most wonderful little symbol, which was all made out. I don't think it was computer graphics at that point. This would have been 1983, and it had this little symbol. There it is. Okay, and this thing, I haven't got the video to show you. I'm not sure I'd be allowed to anyway, but it used to spin around and turn over and then turn around, and then the bottom bit would disappear and it would come back and say breakfast time underneath it. It was very clever how it was made, and it had the most wonderful little piece of music. Starting off, strangely enough, very similar to mine, with little birds singing and the picture of the countryside or whatever they'd chosen that day. I think sometimes it was a picture of London. And in a way, I have been highly influenced. I am highly influenced doing this show by old television stuff. I'm sure a lot of you have realised that by now. A lot of the stuff I do here, and that's probably why I don't get that many people watching, to be honest. Okay, I can't move and do it as they do it now, really. But a lot of the stuff I do and the way I do it and how I want it to look is really influenced by a lot of television back in the 1980s. Certainly the opening video. You can look it up on YouTube. Just type in BBC Breakfast Time 1983 and you'll come up with it. They come on with the globe and make an announcement, and then they have this piece of music which is probably a bit shorter than the one I use, and pictures of places and bird singing and graphics, and that's really, and I've only just realised it while I was sitting there watching the telly this morning. That's really what influenced me to do this. I think you get influenced by all sorts of people. Watching and listening to them on the radio. Steve Allan on LBC, I'm influenced by when I used to listen to him. I don't listen to him anymore just because he's on at a funny time, really. Couple of people on TikTok have really started to influence me. It's funny, really, but that one with the pictures and all that have you. Anyway, so that was 1983, BBC Breakfast Time started. And before that, there was no breakfast television. I think at about, I can't remember what, I think it started at 6 o'clock in the morning or 6:30, one of the two. I think it was 6:30. About 6 o'clock, they turned the transmitters on. You know, they put the test card on for a while. Then they'd announce the programme and it would start. There would be nothing on before that. Just test card with some music. Again, now that I think about it, and I didn't think of this while I was doing it, now you've got a clock on for about half an hour before I start and some music. Now, there you go. So I've been inadvertently influenced by that. I've just realised why I'm doing that now. I didn't realise at a time. I didn't think, oh, that's how they used to do it, so let me do it. I was just sitting there one day, I've been looking for a clock for ages. Found one. I thought, well, how about I'll put some music to this to just start off the day with? And it's kind of worked a little bit, hasn't it? There you are, chatting to each other in the chat box. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Anyway, so there was nothing on before that. And he, along with Selena Scott, there was the sort of what was his name? The camp one who used to do the weather. I can't remember his name. There was a bloke called Nick Ross. And there they'd be in the 1980s in the mornings, every day, 6:30 in the morning, saying hello to all of us. There were no suits. There were no ties. They'd be sitting there in lovely cardigans and jumpers and things like that on a sofa, just talking like we were their friends. And it was great. That's not the only thing he did, BBC Breakfast Time. There's a whole section in the Daily Mail I'll come to in a moment. But he did Grandstand, Match of the Day, a programme called Nationwide. That was on early evenings, about just after the 5, I think it was 6 o'clock it used to be on. Every night it was on at 6 o'clock. It was a magazine programme. And basically there was the main part of the programme, which was from London, hosted not just by Frank Bough, but by a bloke called Michael Barrett. Michael Barrett. I think Frank Bough came along later, but he was one of the presenters there. And they'd have this magazine programme coming from London, and at various points during the show, it would go to its own region. So up here, we'd have like Nationwide Look North, down south, Nationwide Southeast. And then at the end, it would all come back together again. And it was a blooming good programme. It was highly amusing in parts. There were a few serious bits. There were a few funny bits, but it was really good. And there were a lot of people involved in this. And what we got today is the one show, which I tell you is a shadow. It's a shadow in place of Nationwide. Really is. Frank hosted that for a while, and as I say, Grandstand. That was the big sports programme on BBC One on Saturday afternoon. Started at 12:30. Went right the way through until about 5:30, and there were all sorts of sports on there: football, rugby, tennis, boxing, all sorts. And that went for years. Frank was one of the main anchor people. I think you call them anchors. You know, the man in charge of the show. So it would come to him, and he'd do these various different sports things, and sometimes read the scores at the end. I think they had someone else doing the scores actually. Can't remember now. It might have been him or someone else doing the scores. And they'd have a little teleprinter. And while they were reading the scores, before computers, you see, this teleprinter would be at the bottom of the TV screen. I've mentioned it to you before. The camera would zoom in on the teleprinter, and all these football scores would be coming in, you know, Chelsea 5, Liverpool 3, something like that. And he'd be reading, and then he'd say goodbye. And it was great. He was really great. And I turned on the BBC News this morning. Well, no, I sat here last night. As I finished the bingo last night, I started sorting out this morning's show. I was in here till about 11 o'clock, 11:15 last night, sorting out today's show. And it flashed up on the TV screen, Frank Bough has died. And I quickly looked at the news, and sure enough, that was the case. In a care home. And it's difficult to imagine, I think, sometimes someone who was enormously popular. He was as popular then as Philip Schofield is now, put it that way. That's how popular he was. He was the face of the BBC. If you saw Frank Bough, oh, that's the bloke off the BBC. Fantastic. And I went into the living room and I put the news on last night. And I watched 45 minutes of the news. No mention. Not even that little bit at the bottom, you know, breaking news. Nothing. And I thought, you know, that was your face for years and years and years. Where's the mention? Anyway, this morning I've got up. I put the telly on at about 7:15. And they didn't mention him until, I think it was 8 o'clock. And it was kind of a passing news story. And then they mentioned that they were going to do a piece at 8:30, you know, so I was in that room till about 25 to 9 before turning all this stuff on in here. And eventually it started, and they do seem to have perhaps they're still doing it now. They were doing a piece on him about 8:30, but what a long time we had to wait for that. I would have thought that would be one of their big stories. He was one of their biggest stars. It was kind of passed over almost. Shocked. I'm quite shocked about that, really. I suppose he's not the look that they want anymore. And what happened to him? He got caught back in the 1980s doing some sort of drugs and paying prostitutes. And they sacked him for that. You know, I'm always of the opinion, when you get these people's private lives, not interested, really. Not interested in their private life. He's on the telly and he's entertaining me. End of. That's it. Not bothered about people's private lives. I don't think if that had happened today, he would have been sacked. I think he would have been able to get out of it somehow. And there was one of the newspaper articles about him this morning, and it said something like he regretted doing what he did. I doubt that very much. You can't do that. You know, if you were enjoying doing it, he was enjoying doing it. So what? So what? He hosted he was one of the best live broadcasters ever. I tell you that now. He was totally unflappable. If something went wrong, he just covered it and he sat there all calm and collected, a little bit like I do. Or at least I do now. More recently, you'll find me very calm and collected on here, now that I don't have to look in that chat box anymore. But he would have all this information fed to him, and on the telly this morning, just before I came in here, they were talking to Nick Ross, who was also a presenter on the programme, and he was saying he remembers that very first breakfast time back in, I think it was January 1983, and they jumped the boat before ITV got in with Good Morning. I think it was called Good Morning Britain then. And they beat ITV by about 2 weeks and cleaned the floor. You know, barely anyone was watching the ITV breakfast thing. And that was with Angela Rippon. I remember she was on there, and various other big names. David Frost, really big names. I mean, Frank Bough was a big name, don't get me wrong. But it was kind of him and Selena, and sort of on the other side, there were 5 or 6 really big names. But people didn't like it. They stuck with Frank. Why? Because he was a friendly... It was like watching your dad on the telly first thing in the morning. It really was. And Nick was saying on that very first broadcast, he said it was absolute mayhem in the studio. Because they had 2.5 hours of programming to fill with really not much of a script. I mean, it's not dissimilar to this show, to be honest. You know, there's no script for this. There's a few news stories, a few little bits and pieces I've written down, you know, literally scribbled down. Look, you know, that's all. It was similar to that, I suppose. And everyone was flapping around, terrified, absolutely nervous. And just as the music was coming on, Frank Bough clapped his hands like that and said, "Don't worry, everyone, it'll be fine." And that sort of calmed everyone down. He held that show together, BBC Breakfast Time, and I loved it. I used to love it in the morning, watching it before work. I was 20 at the time, 1983, 20, and I worked for a British Telecom. I was an operator in those days, director inquiry operator, and I would get up. I know this sounds silly. I would get up early just to see that little symbol turning around and going up and down and spinning, and the music that went with it. It was such an absolutely delightful piece of music. Ba 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 ba. Used to go like that. And as the music changed, even if you listen to it now, that tune, the original tune, you've got to listen for it, is still in today's BBC breakfast music. They've shortened it a lot, and it's been mucked about with and kind of disguised a bit. But if you're musical at all and you watch the 1983 version of that piece of music and what's on the telly now, you'll hear, you will actually hear that piece of music in there. Oh, we've got a £5 super chat there. Thanks very much to Michael Lawrence. Thank you, Michael. It's very kind of you. Didn't expect that so early in the morning. Gosh, I've barely even started, dear. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Let me give you 5 free raffle tickets for that. By the way, this week's Super Chat raffle prize is the Echo Dot, okay? We've got a proper Echo Dot, still sealed. Look, the tape is still there, okay? All right, still sealed there. That's our Super Chat prize this week. Someone will be winning that in the raffle on Thursday. Every time you send me a £1 Super Chat as a tip, thank you very much, I'll give you a free raffle ticket. So Michael sent 5. I'll give him 5 free raffle tickets. All right. If you haven't been here for a while, boys and girls, just a reminder, I don't really look into the chat box now while we're doing the morning show. Okay, my loves, if you really want to contact us about anything I'm talking about at all, feel free. Use the text number there, 07551 259 675, or you can email, okay, Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So back to this story. Yes, I'd get up early just to watch this thing and listen to the music. And then I'd jump on my bike if I was on early, about 7:15. I'd cycle across Wimbledon Common because my telephone exchange was in... don't worry about your numbers. You don't need your numbers, okay? Because we read your names out anyway. Cycle across Wimbledon Common. In all sorts of weather, rain, snow, beautiful sunshine. It was lovely going across that common in the summer. And I'd get to Wimbledon where I did my work. But I looked forward to getting up and just watch this thing. And Uncle Frank on the telly. Died in a care home. Here's a couple of pictures of him. There you go. On the left there, that's a picture of him and Selena Scott. They would have been presenting Breakfast Time there in the 1980s. As you can see, the sofa is still red. There's one at the top, Frank looking a bit older at the top there. And just on the right there, I think that's him outside his care home. And I'm not 100% sure, but that looks like a white stick there. So possibly he partially lost his sight there. But you could still absolutely see that it was Frank Bough, can't you? It made me really sad this last night hearing that. Really sad. In the Daily Mail this morning, I'll read you their take. It's on all the newspapers. In fact, I think the newspapers have covered it better than they did on the telly this morning. You know, where was the mention in the 8 o'clock news? I would have led with that story. That was one of my biggest stars. As I say, they've done a piece at 8:30. I haven't seen it yet. I'm sure it's very good. You know, probably 10-minute job, but I would have thought that would have been in the news. Shocked at that. It says in the Daily Mail, tributes have been paid to former BBC broadcaster Frank Bough, the grandstand host who became the first voice heard on British breakfast television, a Breakfast Time, after his death at the age of 87. So he was 87, old, but I would have said, you know, you got a few more years on 87 these days. I would say, 90 is old, isn't it? 90 is old. Bough, who for most of his career was one of the most famous and highly paid personalities on UK television screens, died in a care home last Wednesday, a family friend revealed. Fellow broadcaster Michael Parkinson once said of Frank, if my life depended on the smooth handling of a TV show, Bough would be my first choice to be in charge. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bough fronted the team who launched the BBC's Breakfast Time, revolutionizing the UK television landscape in January 1983. After the news of his death last night, current breakfast presenter Piers Morgan called him one of the great live TV presenters, but added that his career had been ruined by scandal. And it was. It was. That was a reference to a 1988 News of the World expose in which Frank Bough confessed to taking cocaine with prostitutes. I see that part of the story and I couldn't give a toss. I don't care what people do in their private lives. I really don't. He was sacked from his £200,000 a year contracts by the BBC, but later returned to presenting on outlets including Sky and London's LBC. Before the revelations about his private life, he'd been known for his squeaky clean image and his passion for sport. His wife Nesta, who survives him, stuck with him and stayed with him up until his death. After the expose, he said, "I've been exceedingly stupid and I accept that. I caused a lot of pain to my wife and my family, and I bitterly regret all these things. But I have to say that I believe that everybody, when they have difficulties with their marriage or sexuality, surely has the right to sort these things out in the privacy of their own home." And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. I'm sick to death of these little newspapers tearing people apart as soon as they find something, sometimes unnecessarily. Look at Cliff Richard. Look what the BBC did to him. Shocking. She said in a Sky News programme, this is his missus, "Obviously I have thought, do I stay or do I go? We've been together a long time, we've brought up a family. We've still got a lot going for us. I do feel betrayed, but I do not feel that it's anything personally to do with me." So there you go. He was born into a family in a 2-up, 2-down terraced house in Stoke-on-Trent. In 1933, Bough would later tell Desert Island Discs that he enjoyed very happy days growing up with his sister. At 18, he became the first member of his family to attend university when he won an all-rounder scholarship to Merton College in Oxford. He won a football blue and green. He won a football blue and grew to be. Sorry, he won a football blue, and what I don't know what that is. What is a football blue? Is that something? I don't know. He won a football blue and grew to be a talented sportsman, but opted for broadcasting for a career, working at first in BBC Regional News, then national sports programmes Sports View and Grandstand. He anchored 6 football World Cups, 6 Olympics, and at least 12 of rugby's 5 Nations Championships for the BBC. But it was in breakfast television that his fame was at its greatest. He welcomed viewers to breakfast time. He and fellow presenters Selena Scott and Nick Ross spoke of how they hoped the informal format would be as popular in the UK as it was abroad. And it was. And it made stars of many of the people who appeared on it. It goes on. It's quite a long piece. I'll read a little bit more. Last night, the show's astrologer, Russell Grant, you remember him? He used to come on and do the stars in the morning. Nothing good happened for me, but I'm sure it did. He was a great bloke. Russell Grant, he's still around, isn't he? He was among those playing tribute. He says, "I'm deeply saddened at the loss of an old television friend." He tweeted, "Frank Bough was a great man to work with. We launched BBC Breakfast Time in January 1983. He was always there for advice and support. They said we wouldn't get on, but we absolutely did. Chalk and cheese. See you, Frank." Oh, bless. And it then goes on about other people talking about him. Speaking about it years later, Frank says, "I'm not a wicked man." No, I don't think you were. It's just one of those human things that you might want to do. You know, that's how I feel about it. "I'm not a wicked man, nor do I mean any harm or evil to people. I've made mistakes." Well, who hasn't, you know? I've made mistakes, but everyone's entitled to do that. No one suffered but my wife, my family, and myself. "It was a brief but appalling period in my life. Don't condemn my entire career for a brief episode I regret." But that's exactly what did happen. They condemned him. The newspapers. After retirement, Bough lived in relative obscurity with his wife. The couple married in 1959 after he left the army. This is in the Daily Mail this morning, where he did national service in the Royal Tank Regiment. They had 3 sons together, David, Stephen and Andrew. He had a liver transplant in 2001, which I didn't know, after doctors found a cancer, though he had been involved in no other public health battles since. In 2006, he turned down I didn't know. I didn't know they'd asked him, but apparently, according to this story, in 2006, he turned down a chance to appear on a special BBC show celebrating BBC Breakfast's 25th anniversary. It's been there a long time. You see, I remember the first one. He sat there and welcomed us all. Pointed down into the television screen on the right-hand side and said, a clock will appear. And a little blue clock used to be on the telly there. He turned down the anniversary. But viewers long remembered Boff's unflappable style and the calm, friendly manner that won him legions of fans in his career in the 1970s and 1980s heyday. He was also one of the stars. You remember he was on Morecambe and Wise? 1977. Do you remember that? They were all dressed as sailors. And they were doing, I can't remember what the number was, but they were dancing around the stage on one of those wonderful Morecambe and Wise Christmas specials. Oh, there's a picture there. I'll get that picture for you in a second. Here we are. Let's take a little picture of that one there. You'll see him. Where is he? He's in the middle at the back. Okay, can you just about see that? Let's just zoom in on that. There he is. He's in the middle at the back. There's a lot of BBC stars there who are no longer with us. There's Richard Baker. Who else have we got there? Then Morecambe and Wise, of course. Oh, Eddie Waring. That's the rugby commentator. 1977, that was. Gosh. He was born to an upholsterer father in 1933. Boff joined the BBC after picking up a love for performing in productions at school and Oxford University. First thing he was on was a regional magazine show called Home at 6, which is now known as Look North, which we get up here, which was broadcast from Newcastle. Wonderful. It's nice to read that story to you. I haven't bored you with that too much, but yeah, I think it was a lot. There were certain people on the telly that were a big part of your lives at the time, and he was certainly one of them. Anyway, there we go. That's the Frank Bough story this morning. I hope I haven't bored you too much. It's a bit long, like that's as I say there this morning. Okay, we've got a text coming there. Good morning. Just a second there. Let's just open the text phone. It's a bit slow, this phone. I think next time when I change my phone, which probably won't be for at least another year yet, I shall swap the card into that one. So good morning to... Good morning, you little ray of sunshine. Keep up the good work and tell Jason he needs to go back to work. There we are. And that's from Captain Hook. Captain Hook, I'm assuming Captain Hook is Simon on the Isle of Wight. Am I right there? Or have I got that completely wrong? Captain Hook. Well, Simon on the Isle of Wight, he's got a bit of a dodgy eye at the moment because he's had a bit of an operation there. Of course, Vectis Humphrey and his daughter Shania were very, very busy last night going over to that boat off the Isle of Wight. Well, they had stowaways, dear. Did you notice how long they were trying to sort that out? Eh? Terrible. They had stowaways on a boat on the Isle of Wight, creating all sorts of trouble and being abusive and violent towards the crew of the boat, who then locked themselves in a room. But no problem for Shania and Vectis. No. On a little boat they got off the Isle of Wight. They got to the big boat. They got on the boat. All these people were standing around them trying to be violent. But then Shania started playing her violin. They soon gave themselves up then. They soon gave themselves up then when Shania got that violin out, didn't they, my love? Well done, girl. We got the weekly raffle coming up in the show a little bit later on this morning, boys and girls. Staying with the BBC Breakfast show this morning was an absolutely delightful piece that they did. And it was this bloke who's got dementia. And he's written some music. Okay? And he was very lucky because the BBC picked it up On the BBC website this morning, a piece of music composed by a former music teacher with dementia is to be released as a single after he recorded it with the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra. Can you just imagine that? Writing a piece of music and having the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra or someone like that picking it up and playing it. How fantastic must that make you feel? The bloke's 80, his name's Paul Harvey, originally improvised the composition after being given 4 notes to play by his son. Now, this is something I could do, not as well as he would do it. If you gave me 4 notes, I could make a tune out of that in my head. I often sit there at the piano and just tinkle away random stuff. I think, oh, that one was quite nice, but then it's gone. It's already gone. You haven't recorded it or anything. A clip of the performance was intended to show how musical ability can survive memory loss, because he's got dementia. Terrible disease. One or two of you may have had problems with that, either yourselves or your parents or someone you know, I'm sure. On Sunday, the single of 4 Notes, Paul's tune, was aired on Radio 4's broadcasting house for the first time. Despite being diagnosed with dementia late last year, Harvey, who was a composer from Sussex, has continued to be able to play piano pieces from memory and create new ones. His son Nick, the son Nick got on my nerves on the telly this morning, because this bloke was on the telly. Oh, he was all over him. Some old Queen dear. Old Queen, he had the beard and the glasses and the bald head. Typical lefty. I bet he's one of those lefties. Hard lefties. Gotta be. He was on the telly, and every now and again he put his arm over. I thought, oh, please, this is all for the camera, I thought to myself. But it was lovely to see this old bloke on the telly, and he was playing along on this it's quite an old piano he has. It sounded a bit like that, you know, Mrs. Mills? Sounded a bit like Mrs. Mills' piano. Had that sort of honky-tonk sound to it. It was great. Great. And then it showed you a video of the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra playing not as a whole, but in their various homes. Because what they're doing a lot with these orchestras now, they're recording. It's very clever. Very, very clever. They're recording the various pieces of a work in someone's home, right? So several people playing a violin, several people playing a trumpet, several people, I don't know, playing flutes, someone playing drums, and someone playing the piano. Well, of course, he was the one playing the piano in this. And what they do is a very clever engineer gets all these bits of music and puts them all together on a computer, mixes the sound together, and there you have an orchestra almost as good as having a whole orchestra on a stage, but in different places all over the place. Very, very clever. And that's what they've done to his song. His son Nick, who posted the video in September, said it had been an old party trick of his father's to request 4 random notes and then improvise a song. In the video, which has had more than 60,000 likes, they're gone about likes then, Nick picked F natural, A, D and B natural for his father to play. The performance was aired on Broadcasting House for World Alzheimer's Day on the 21st of September. This prompted listeners to ask the BBC to have performance orchestrated, which led to the BBC's Philharmonic Orchestra involvement. And there it was on the telly this morning. It brought a tear to my glass eye, I'll tell you that now. It was blooming wonderful this morning, watching that on the telly. Well. Okay, doke. I got a little bit more house news on Saturday. And after I finished the show, I went downstairs and there was a message on my mobile phone that someone had called. And it was the estate agent up here in Lincolnshire, a place called Crofts, Crofts. And it was the other Rachel, the young Rachel. Not the old Rachel, who seems to be so far up her arse the sun can't be seen. It wasn't her, it was the young Rachel. Happy and bubbly. Now, I've never met these two Rachels, but you know you get an impression in your head when you hear someone of what they might or might not be like. I imagine the stuck-up one to be old Rachel, and the happy, bubbly one to be young Rachel. Anyway, she went, "Hello, Mr. Reardon, how are you?" I thought, that's the young Rachel. "Yes, I'm okay, thanks so much." She said, "I know you've had a call from us this week about the property. Just following up that call, really, just to let you know we still haven't heard back from the vendor yet. So," she said, "I'll tell you what I'm going to do for you today. I am at this moment putting together an email to the vendor because we can't get hold of him." I think he's changed his mind. Because it's that pretty and beautiful, this little cottage. Okay, it's got no heating in it, but that can be sorted out, That can be sorted out. And I made my offer, and I knew there was someone else who had made an offer. So he said, "I'm just putting an email together to the vendor, asking him if he could come back to us, even if he's decided not to sell it." And I mentioned that you've put a cracking offer forward. We don't muck around, dear. If you want it, you've got to make that offer, right? So I did. And that was, it's a week ago today. A week ago today, I made the offer. No one's heard a word. Funny, innit? So that's the news of that. And she was very nice on the phone, this girl. In a way, it might have done me a favour because, as you know, I had to put together loads of bits of paper. My house isn't on the market yet because I think I might be able to do it another way. By doing a little bit of me remortgaging and a little bit of a stuff going on there. Nothing dodgy. And the first lot of papers I sent to my independent financial bloke didn't get there. So I sent them all again on Thursday. So hopefully he will have looked over those today and I give him a little bit of a ring later. So the fact that he hasn't come back to them may have put a spanner in the works and delayed it a bit so I can get some other stuff sorted out first. Because it might get to the point, where it's like, well, hang on a minute, you're not ready to go yet. Let's give it to someone else. That might happen. But no idea what's going to happen there. All right, so that's the house news. Do you know, one thing I miss when I'm here at the caravan is my home bed. I've got such a comfortable bed at home. John Lewis. It was a bit expensive. Not hugely expensive, but it was certainly more than this one I've got here. The one I've got here, 250 quid from Argos. Now, I thought that was a reasonable amount to spend on the bed. 250 quid. But put it this way, you could probably flick the mattress over with one finger. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's so light, the mattress. And it's in no way... On a scale of 1 to 10 of comfortableness, my home bed would be on a 10. This would be on a 6.5. That's the difference, It doesn't matter how many blooming mattress toppers you put over that. You can't make it as comfortable as your home bed. No way. It's one thing I miss when I come here. And funnily enough, I was laying in the bed last night and thinking, do you know what? If I do get this other house here, how wonderful it would be to be in that house in my own bed rather than in this bed here. Don't get me wrong, it's all right. It's comfortable-ish, but it's nothing like the bed I've got home. It's certainly not uncomfortable. Oh, the most uncomfortable bed. I bought a double bed 25 years ago, 28 years ago, when I moved from my flat in Wandsworth to my home here in Bracknell. And this bed arrived and I put it on. Wow, bed for £100. Fantastic. Well, I've got to tell you, within a month it had been chucked away. It was the most uncomfortable. You could turn over and it was that cheap. You'd turn over and you could feel a spring pressing into your rib cage. It was awful. Listen, don't buy a cheap bed. Don't buy a bed online without laying and testing it out. Now, you may say, oh, well, I bought a bed online and I didn't test it out. It was all right. Well, you were lucky then. You were lucky. Never, ever buy a bed without laying down on it first. Awful. Although I gather some people now, they sell beds and you can try them out for 7 days or something. And they come with plastic on it. You mustn't remove the plastic. Not allowed to remove the plastic. If you remove the plastic, they won't take it back. But I think there's some places that you can try out the mattress. Anyway, that's the thing. I miss my bed. We're having a little bit of a disaster here over the last 2 days. Today, well, I suppose you would say, no, the last 2 days. The last 2 days I've had a little bit of a disaster here, boys and girls. I've got no tea leaves. I've got tea bags, but no tea leaves. And there's an enormous difference, as I'm sure one or two of you will know, between having tea made from tea leaves in a teapot. In my case, I've got a stainless steel teapot here. Remember I mentioned to you the other day, I'd love one of those old-fashioned teapots, enamel. You know the ones that you would get like at a jumble sale? You know when you used to go to jumble sales and things like that? Or school events. I was just going to go and get a cup of tea. You go over there and some old piece of baggage would be standing there behind a table. Yeah? With a fag hanging out of her mouth. Yeah, can I help you? Yeah, can I have a cup of tea? Yeah, okay, love. And then she'd pick up this blooming old teapot, enamel thing, all chipped. Some of it would be rusty round the outside and pour you. I'd like one of those. I looked on eBay. I don't care. Yes, second hand. Even better, second hand. Because it would have had a life. Not everything needs to be new all the time. We want something that's had a life. Look at that little house I'm looking at. Let me tell you, that's had a life. That's not new. Don't want a new house. No, thank you. Blooming Legoland. Horrible things. Can't, they're putting them up in about 2 minutes. You'd think some of these Barratt homes are going to be standing there 200 years later in their present form. I don't think so. I don't think so. Look at the Queen. Look at the Queen. All that money. And she chooses to live in that old place. Better quality. I expect Barratt Homes and Wimpy and all them. Who's the McAllister, is it? McAllister? McLarens? I don't know what they are. They build I expect they'd love her to live. McCarthy and Stone. There you go. Why isn't the Queen living in a McCarthy Stone house? Because they're new and they look boring. We don't like boring. Do we? Huh? Anyway, and this little particular place is quite old. That'll have a story behind it. And in there, I will have to get one of those old teapots. Old enamel one, chips round the side and his bit of rust is showing. Lovely. And it's thick enamel. These are heavy things. Beautiful. But no tea leaves. I've had to order some, which I'm hoping, I praise to the Lord above. I said an extra decade of the Hail Mary last night, Shania, in the hope that the PG tips I ordered yesterday morning will arrive at my sister's house today, catering size. You may remember last week I've already ordered them, and that's down at the house. That packet's at the house, but I've got to get one for here as well. So, meanwhile, I'm reduced to using tea bags. Now, the brand is pretty irrelevant. These happen to be Yorkshire tea bags, but even with Yorkshire tea, you can buy Yorkshire loose leaf tea. These are Yorkshire tea bags. No, don't taste right. I can taste paper in that. I mean, it's awful. Using tea bags, boys and girls, is just like being an ordinary person and not a super international megastar, which I am. It's horrible. I felt like one of my own viewers sitting there this morning drinking tea made from a tea bag. It was awful. I could almost see myself in a chat box criticising my own programme. Horrendous. So hopefully the tea leaves will arrive today, and once again I will be elevated back to my megastar status. So that's the tea bags. Fingers crossed with the loose leaf tea. Do you know what my great niece Evie said to me yesterday? Do you know what she said to me? Well, I was just playing with her in my sister's living room, and I've got a video coming up for you. I've got a video of 2 videos coming up for you today. How excited are you? Huh? See, we get some likes for that. Fran, you're in charge of likes, darling. Fran's in charge of likes. She said to me, when I was mucking around with her, and I kind of putting my feet in her face. She said, "You stink. You don't shower." says the girl who will be presumably expecting some sort of Christmas present and birthday present and little trips out and McDonald's and sweets. Chris, you don't shower. That's what she said to me. Harry doesn't say that to me. Emily doesn't say that to me. George doesn't say that to me. James couldn't have said that to me because at the time he hadn't learned to speak. He can speak now, and I'm sure he won't say the same to me because I am his godfather. I am the godfather. I'm godfather to 2 children now. Yes. There's Olivia at my nephew's house, and there's James, formerly baby James, now James, at my niece's house in Cyprus. I am the godfather. I think these people should be forced to come to church with me, as I am the godfather. Why don't anyone want to come to church with me? Yeah. Do you know the last people I went to church with? Shania and her dad. And ever since then, they've been moaning about this cup of tea that I supposedly forced them to buy. Dear me. Got a text coming there. Very good morning to George Bond this morning. Good morning to George Bond texting. Don't forget you can text the programme if you want to. 07551 259 675. And as I just... Oh. Here it is. Best news of the morning. I've just received an email from those wonderful people at Amazon. Hi, Chris. Your package with PG Tips loose leaf black tea will be delivered today. Oh, thank God for that. Am I coming across as a little bit common and sort of the same as you today, am I? That's because I've had tea bags, you see. It brings out the worst in me, it really does. Awful tea bags. Do you reckon Gemma Collins puts those on her eyes? Used tea bags. Sorry, that's not very authentic. Let's do it again. Well, that is excellent. That's made my day, that has. That to me is more important than getting a phone call from the estate agent. My loose leaf tea is arriving today. So hopefully the show tomorrow morning will be back, and it's probably looking... You're probably looking at this programme today thinking, well, I'm just watching some normal bloke on the telly this morning, aren't you? Tomorrow I will be re-elevated, my superstar, international famous, with millions of viewers all over the world. I have. A lot of people used to say, you haven't got millions of viewers all over the world. Yes, I have. Billions, actually. I have billions of viewers all over the world. They just don't all watch. Come on, let me show you one of these videos. I've also got a couple of pictures from John Paris to show you a little bit later. I think it's just John's pictures today. So, as you know, we host bingo here every Sunday night. You ever want to play along and you're not on the system, then you can join us if you want Sunday night bingo. Just join us. Send me an email there to chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Say, please, Chris, can you add me to the bingo for Sunday? And I'll add you to the system. You will need a Gmail account to be able to play. If you haven't got one, just set one up. Take your 5 minutes or so, and it's completely free, okay? So if you'd like to join us for the bingo on Sunday night, play along, okay? There are, if you've got children who want to play, that's fine as well, but they will have to abide by the same rules as everyone else, i.e., you've got a minute and a half to claim. If you don't claim in a minute and a half, if it don't come to me saying, oh, but he's only 7 years old, I'll give him a chance. No, it has to be the same rules for everyone, okay? So keep an eye on them when they're playing, all right? If you want to do the bingo. Each person does need their own separate email address. Okay? And I went round to see my sister yesterday, and round her house were indeed great nephew Harry and great niece Evie, and they wanted to play bingo. Uncle Chris, can you call the numbers out? What for? Oh, we want to play bingo. Oh, okay. Well, we need some tickets. We've written numbers down. Oh, bless them. And on a little bit of paper, they've written down numbers. I think Evie wrote down random numbers and Harry kind of wrote numbers in a sequence, like, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20. And I'm looking at these numbers. And whereas he's still learning to write, some of the numbers are like the wrong way round, like the 7. So if that was a 7 there, hang on, let me use a piece of a paper here. So he might write them down like that. You see what I mean? So if that's a number 7 there, he might have written them down like that. And the same with a number 9. Instead of a number 9, he'd put a P. So I looked at this. I said, well, you got those the right way around. So I helped him and corrected him like that. And I said, well, you can't write down the numbers like that. You'll need bingo tickets. Oh, I know where to find those, Evie, because she's very intelligent. Very intelligent. She's intelligent enough to nick my mints from here. Had to buy some more. Look, Evie, if you're watching this morning, a whole little jar of them. Not at your house, at mine, and staying here. So she found some bingo tickets and we printed them out on the computer. Then she got the scissors and cut them and we played bingo. We played bingo. And at the end of the second game, Evie realised she wasn't winning. So she screwed up the paper and threw it around and walked off. But please, the delights of 2 children playing the bingo with me yesterday afternoon. Watch this. Ah! I hate Baby Shark. Baby Shark is dead.
Yeah.
Tell her. Baby Shark is dead. Come on, hurry up.
I'm trying to find the next bingo card.
Bingo. Here we go. First game.
Wait.
Where's the scissors?
Okay, I found the next.
Shall I cut them or will you cut them?
You cut.
Are you allowed to use scissors?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm trying to find the next bingo.
Would you like me to cut your hair while I'm here?
No.
I can make your hair nice.
No.
Why not?
You'll make me bald.
Eh?
I don't trust you.
What do you mean you don't trust me? You don't trust me to make your hair nice, it would be. No? Eh?
Who would ever trust you?
Evil child and disciple of the devil himself. Harry, you'd let me cut your hair, wouldn't you, Harry?
No.
Right, you ready then? Here we go.
I'll find the next one next time.
Eyes down for your first number, 7 and 3, 73.
Oh, that's my pen. Oh.
6 and 1, 61. 2 and 8, 28. Boris's Den, number 10. 8 and 1, 81. All the 3s, 33. 6 and 1, 61.
You've already said 61.
6 and 5, 65. No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
Shut up! I'm in charge! All on its own, number 4. All on its own, number 7. 1 and 6, Sweet 16. We have to sing a song to this one. It goes, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, happy birthday, Sweet 16. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la. They're not playing properly, mine.
Well, they're cheats, that's why.
Cheats.
Drop them off the system.
Cheats. 4 and 9, 49. 4 and 3, 43. 3 and 7, 37. 5 and 7, 57. 5 and 8, 58. 1 and 2, 12. 7 and 9, 79. 8 and 2, 82.
Oh, I've got one more number. I quit.
8 and 9, 89.
I win.
You've got to shout bingo, shout bingo. Bingo! Louder! Bingo! Louder! 1, 2, 3. Bingo! Did you see? She threw the bit of paper away. She's so fed up. Oh dear. So that's Evie and Harry playing bingo yesterday afternoon. Don't forget, gang, if you want to talk to us at all this morning, jump out the chat box and just send us an email there, chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, or you can text in a message 07551259675. That's not the only great, immense amount of fun I had yesterday. Got another little video coming up. But first of all, let me show you the pictures that John Parrish has sent in a couple of days ago. Let me get my little email up from him. There we go. Pictures from John Parrish. That's, first of all, we have... Oh, no, that's not right, is it? Oh, they're the wrong ones now. I know I haven't shown... I'm pretty sure I haven't shown those yet. Where's the email that goes? He sends so many in, it's difficult to keep up with what's going on. Is it that one there? No, that's the wrong... They're the wrong pictures. I don't think I've showed you those yet either, though, have I? I'm pretty sure of that. Hang on a minute. That's the only... I can't find another email from him, actually. Oh, well. No story with those two. Sorry, gang. No story with those two. I'm not quite sure what that is there. But, oh, it's just sent an email in. Could you... Is it Sherry's birthday today? Sherry's birthday today? Oh... It's Sherry's birthday today. Therefore, we do look after our live viewers, boys and girls. Therefore, we must sing immediately happy birthday to Sherry this morning. There she is. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sherry. Happy birthday to you. There she is again. Looks like some sort of camping trip that they're going on there. I'm pretty sure I haven't showed you those photos yet, but the email I'm looking at is not the one that relates to those two pictures for some reason. So I don't know why that is, but thanks so much for sending those in, John. The other two I'll use on tomorrow's show, and you've just sent two more, which I'll use on the show after. So if you do me a favour and just wait till I've shown those ones, otherwise it does result in confusion at this end because there's so many bits and pieces to deal with. All right, thanks so much, John. I hope you have a nice day, Sherry, on your birthday, my love. 45-ish, he says. That's all right, isn't it? 45's fine, lady. Oh. It's not old, dear. It's not old. Not old. Good morning to Amelia Phillips. Just emailing there. Morning to Amelia today on the email. Do you watch Strictly Come Dancing at all? Anyone watch that? Well, there's loads of people watching it. They are wiping the board. Again, is X Factor on at the moment? Is that on now? I don't know what the viewing figures are like for X Factor. That's normally on sort of round about now, isn't it? Anyway, in the Sun this morning, Strictly Come Dancing came charging back with 1.6 million more viewers than last year. That's a lot, isn't it? 1.6 million. I can only ever dream of such figures. As I say, I told you a few moments ago, I've got billions of viewers for this show. They're just not all watching it. I know they're out there. The audience peaked at 10.1 million viewers on Saturday as singer HRV, what's that, short for Harvey, is it? HRVY topped the leaderboard. So who's he? There's a picture of him here. He's a young boy. And he is a boy. He's not a man. You know, I've never seen him before. There he is. Dancing with a very pretty young lady there who looks like she's about 3 times his age. There he is. Anyone seen him before? We may have mentioned this here, and there she is. Is it like... See, I don't watch it. I love it, but I don't watch it. I love the sparkle. It's BBC. It's all done properly, you know. Beautiful stage, sparkly lights, proper orchestra, not tapes or a hard drive playing the music. It's really good. It's fantastic. I do dip in and out of it sometimes. My Auntie Brenda, she don't like it anymore because Bruce isn't on it. Apparently, it's made it the second most watched show of the year behind Ant and Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway. HRVY. Here we are. Real name Harvey Cantwell is now the new favourite to win the programme. He's 21. He's scored 25. I don't know how the scoring works. You see, that's how much I know about this programme. But I know it looks good. It looks and sounds great. And then it goes on about who's got what points there. What else does it say about him? There's some girl there. Who's she? Sharona. Is it? EastEnders. See, I don't watch EastEnders. Maisie Smith. Is this Maisie Smith? I don't know. Let's see. Is there a bit of writing on? Oh yeah, here's Maisie Smith. Apparently she was the favourite, and she's not anymore. The lad's the favourite now, but that all changes over time. Perhaps I should watch it a bit occasionally. There's she. She's pretty, isn't she? I like that picture where they put all the lines and that behind her. Well, good on them. Good on them. And then it goes on to telling us about all the other people on there. Okay, so good on their one. Just a text coming in there from Sherry. Hello, Sherry. It's not my birthday yet, Chris. It's tomorrow. Oh, right. Okay. Why has he sent it now, then? Stupid old git. Hit him, Sherry, will you, darling? Mandy, are you available this morning, Mandy? Sorry, darling. Could you go and sort John Parrish out? He's sent in a birthday message while we're doing a show for tomorrow. I mean, do you have more than one brain cell operating in that head of yours? God's sake, man. So now we've got to sing it again tomorrow. Well, you know what I'll have to do? I'm going to delete that email now. Otherwise, it just don't make sense, does it? Amelia's birthday is on Monday next week. Well, tell me next week, not now. Christ's sake, Amelia. How am I going to remember that? You think I can remember all this stuff that comes in here? No. Do it at the time, dear. Or text or email on the day. All right, Amelia, and we'll be very pleased to sing to you on that date. Evie and Harry. Sherry says Evie and Harry are so cute, by the way. Yes, they absolutely are. They're good children. I was playing football with Harry yesterday as well. And I'm not a football player. I'm not really a football player, but I had a good little laugh with him and Evie yesterday, chasing them both around the living room as well. But that's not all I was chasing yesterday. I chased my sister around the garden yesterday. She was getting on my nerves. So I had to take action with an axe. Thank you. Look at that rusty old axe. There you are. Record that one and send it to the police. Ow, there's a bloke abusing his sister. The lefties would say that. They wouldn't get it. They wouldn't get the joke. You know what they're like. They don't find it. Have you ever seen a left-wing comedian? Christ. Oh, Christ. Well, John Paris has worked out how to use a mobile phone. Oh, dear, it's Sherry's birthday tomorrow, the 27th. Those pictures were for Tuesday's show. Well, why are you sending them today while I'm doing a show, then? Huh? Haven't you got something else to do? Bit of maintenance on your caravan? Have you anchored it down yet? Don't want it blowing away. Sherry, are you a big person in the Philippines? Are you big and popular? We need viewers in the Philippines. We don't seem to have many there. Can you sort that out, please? Could you pass this programme on to all your family and friends? I know that you will have a lot of family and a lot of friends. John's just got you. But that's just John, He's not really got any friends, has he? One of those things, really. But Sherry, if you could pass this on to all the... Could I become big? I'm very big in Latvia, apparently. popular, but not the Philippines. I love Filipino people. I tell you what's very popular with the Filipino populations that's over here, karaoke. They love it. They absolutely love it. Gorgeous people, Filipinos. And they all go to church, don't they? Yes. I hope you do, Sherry. Oh, you haven't been. Yeah, but that's okay. It's a coronavirus. You can watch it on the telly and join in there. We are allowed to do that at the moment. I also asked you not to mention her age, so I've just been punished. Well, why did you put it in the email then? It's just no common sense, is there? You would think at his age, which is about 85, I think. John Parrish is about 85 years old. Maybe a little bit older. Certainly not any younger. You would have thought at his age he now had common sense, wouldn't you? I mean, what hope is there for the world? There's no common sense anymore. The poor people in Wales, they can't even buy a kettle now, can they? It's all covered up in plastic. What's all that about? Who come up with that idea? Morning, Maureen. Maureen's here. Good morning, young Maureen. If you haven't been on the show for a while, don't forget, gang, I don't dip into the chat box now while the show's on, except for the raffle and the bingo. So you got it there to just chat amongst yourselves while the show's going on. But you can contact me direct and not be involved in the chat box at all. I know many of you aren't. Just send us a text there if you go 07551 259 675 or an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. What's going on the Isle of Wight? Fortunately, as I mentioned, this has all been sorted out, although they've lied in the newspapers. This is British tabloids. The Daily Star's take on this, the Royal Navy and Special Boat Service has reportedly detained 7 people on the oil tanker Nave Andromeda off the Isle of Wight following an emergency incident after stowaways made verbal threats towards crew members. 7 people have been detained after armed forces. Now, it says armed forces here. I don't think so. Armed forces dramatically stormed a suspected hijacked oil tanker off the Isle of Wight. British police said the crew of the Nave Andromeda had been subject to verbal threats from stowaways and that they were working with Coast Guard and border forces to resolve the incidents. But now 7 people have been detained by the Royal Navy and Special Boat Service following incidents. We've had our crack team on there. Around 16 SBS troopers. Don't muck around with the British secret people. You don't want to have a round with them, my friends. These are professional people. Anyway, they've got them. 2 Royal Navy Wildcat helicopters and 2 Navy Merlin Mark IV helicopters and the SBS team were reportedly used to detain the individuals. Well, I hope Priti was out there. Priti Patel. That's who we need as Prime Minister in this country, Priti Patel. She won't take no crap from anyone, sunshine, I'm telling you that now. She will whip that lash. Just like Mandy Davenport does on this channel, head of pain and suffering. That's who we need as Prime Minister, Priti Patel. She'll order those water cannons, keep everyone under control. Thank God for that. That's who we want. But I don't think it was the crack team at all. I'm pretty sure that Shania and her dad got a little rowing boat. They jumped off the pier, wherever that is. Is that Shanklin or Venus? Ventnor? There was Shania. Row, row, row the boat gently down the sea. Merrily, 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 life becomes a dream. And he got to the boat. And old Vectis keeping an eye up there, he was. Threw the rope up, climbed up there with one eye. Aye, you see, they would, as soon as they saw him, they would have thought he was one of them because at the moment, Vectis looks like a pirate. Aye, my Jim lad. Pretty party, pretty party. And these people would have thought he was one of those, except there was one big giveaway, which these people who had stowaways on the boat, they weren't intelligent to detect the giveaway that he was not one of them, and that is he was a different colour. But they thought he was. All right, Shania, up you come. Shania's coming up there, up that rope. And she's got something dangling from her leg. She had the secret weapon. And just as they were about to attack, she placed the secret weapon under her neck and started playing. Well, that's it. They gave up, mate. They gave up immediately. Don't muck around with Shania's violin. Very painful. Very, very painful. We had that story about the Russians last week, didn't they? And their new so-called very impressive weapon. Well, they point something at someone and it sends radio waves there. We've had that for years on the Isle of Wight with Shania's violin. She's managed to get rid of 3 priests at her local church like that. Please, no, stop. We give up, we give up. Anyway, glad to see we got rid of that lot. Morning to George Bond. It's his birthday on the 26th of November. Well, tell us on the 26th of November. What do you think I'm going to do? Write it down and keep a blooming diary, dear? God's sake, man. 26th of November, that's when you let me know, my love, all right? Don't forget, this week's raffle is coming up very soon now. This week's Super Chat raffle is on Thursday. Every time we send a £1 tip, I'll give you a free raffle ticket for the Echo Dot. Echo Dot. Echo Dot. That's what we're going to do. Okay? That's on Thursday, though. Give you a free raffle ticket for every £1 you send us. Amelia's going to the gym today. Good job, Amelia. I've seen some pictures of you, my love. Is it the first time you're going, by any chance? I would recommend 3 hours per day for the next 4 months. You might do something then. Wish I could go to the gym. I hated it. I tried 3 times. My God, it's the most boring place in the world, a gym. Some of the gay blokes, they just go there to look at other blokes. That's all they go for. I want that fit look that I used to have 30 years ago. Don't think it's coming back. Don't think it's really coming back now. Now, I'm all for home maintenance. It's very, very important to keep your house or wherever you live in tip-top condition. It really is. You leave a small hole and it's massive. At the moment, I've got a bit of rubber around my door and it's the wrong one. But rather than leave it, I've temporarily got that stick-on rubber draft excluder. And it's kind of working. I have to keep sticking it back on. And when I close the door, I make sure that it has been sealed. So no water can get in it. I don't want to be getting up in a caravan one night after it's been raining and having to be stand on tippy toes because there's all water coming in the floor. Terrible. Very important to do DIY. A very DIY expert is sitting here in front of you today, boys and girls. Well, in the Daily Mirror, a whole community's been doing DIY. Because they think their houses are going to fall down a cliff. The council's told them not to. Daily Mirror. Residents in a cliffside community who banded together to protect their homes from a dramatic cliff collapse have been ordered by the council to stop filling the gaping holes themselves. They're going out with filler. Filling the gaps in the cliff. It's sad. Mum of 5, Emma, was left heartbroken as her dream £195,000 Spanish villa-style bungalow named Cliffhanger plunged off the edge over 4 days in late May, making national headlines. Neighbours were evacuated and told to consider moving as more land is expected to be lost to the sea over the coming years. But after months of inaction, furious parish councillor Malcolm decided, along with owners of 48 neighbouring properties in Eastchurch on the Isle of Sheppey in Kent, to take matters into their own hands. A deal with a private contractor, which makes sense, was made so that the cliff would be shored up with unwanted clay in exchange for the removal of the rubble left from Emma's house and her orange Seat Ibiza. Or Ibiza. But as soon as they had finished clearing all the debris and were set to fill the estimated 20-foot deep sinkhole, Swale Borough Council stamped down temporary stop notice last week. Why would they do that? We can't even contest this notice or risk getting a £20,000 fine. Why is that then? I sent the council 7 letters complaining about our homes being abandoned and left to fall off, and they were ignored. We waited 3 months for help, and they only started getting the job only started the job after getting nothing back. If they're not going to do it, why can't we? It don't make sense, does it? Well, I've heard of people going around doing stuff like picking up litter, right? And a council official, you know the sort, busybodies, coming along with their clipboards. And the posh ones, iPad. Oh, what? No, you can't do that here. No, that's the council's job. No, that's a £5 fine, please. Idiots. Why are we surrounded by idiots? This bloke says our homes may not be here much longer if nothing's done. We just want to protect and support our properties. All this makes me ashamed to be British. I've lived in England and all my life and always supported my local community. Swale Council says they're taking away our... Swale Borough Council needs stringing up. They're taking away our lives by not giving us anything, all while taking our taxes too. Blimey. Retired woodturner Malcolm's lodge bungalow was left teetering near the edge too when the Cliffhanger home finally fell on June the 1st. So that one fell off. His is next. Do you know what I mean? He was forced out of the home he bought in 2001, which he says is worth £1 million to him. And seeing Emma lose everything, that's the lady whose house fell off, only intensified his ongoing campaign for help. As part of the rebuilding process, a platform had to be created at the bottom of the cliff to allow the digger with a 15-foot arm to remove the rubble, but even that couldn't reach the bottom of the hole. Gosh. Clay has been used to build up around the edges of Surf Crescent, that's the name of the road, everyone, in the hope of eventually building the former road back to land level and grassing the bank to allow the dog walkers to use it as a footpath. But this is impossible until work can resume to fill the huge hole and make the cliff safe. After just 3 days, the Environmental Agency told them to stop, and last week the council officially ordered them to cease activity on the site. Well, it don't make sense, does it? I mean, they're paying for themselves. What's the problem? The council's excuse was that they couldn't afford to do the work, but this is not costing them anything. They made it's embarrassment, isn't it? It's to save face. It's to save face. So it would be seen as the council aren't doing anything and they'd paid to do it themselves. That would embarrass the council. That's what it's all about. These arseholes who run councils. All they're worried about is themselves, not anyone else. It's disgusting. People have also been fly tipping, so that would have been disposed of. So, a Swale Borough Council spokesman said, "We have issued a temporary stop notice to residents in East Church who have been seen depositing a large amounts of waste soil off the side of the cliff." Yeah, to fill the holes, you idiots. We're concerned about the ecological effect of soil dumping. I bet it's filthy where this place is. The council. I bet their towns are dirty. They'll spend a bit more time cleaning up the rubbish there rather than worrying about people putting soil to fix the cliffs. God's sake. Dear. Oh, do you know, I've scrolled down a little bit further. I've come across a story here. Bowels. A simple way to empty them completely. I won't go on that one. Oh well. Oh well. Okay, let's do this week's raffle, gang. It's time for our weekly raffle. Your tickets are in here. Can you see? No, you can't, can you? Can't really see. It's so difficult to show you, don't they? They're right at the bottom there. They're all on the bottom there, and I can't tip it any further forward because they will all fall out. All right. But it's time for this week's raffle. Does anyone want to empty their bowels before we start this? Is that a text there? What's that there? Oh, okay. All right, here we go. Who's going to win the fridge magnet? Where is it? Do you know, I thought I bought up the fridge magnets from home, but I can't find them. Luckily, I've still got one here. All right. I hope I haven't lost them on the way here. That kind of happened. I must have left the other ones at home. Right, you ready, darlings? Ba 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 da ba ba da ba 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 ba. Right, here we go. Let's have a drum roll, and we'll do the raffle. And it's ticket number 876. Ticket number 876. Who is number 876? We await for you to claim your fridge magnet. And all these, of course, go in here for our next super draw. Oh. That's our next super draw. That one was on the floor. Put that in there. Which is on Halloween, actually. That'll be on Halloween. I do hope you'll be here, boys and girls, on Halloween. Yes. To see our Halloween backdrop. It's very, very nice. So I have to put that on there and iron it. So who's number 876? Claim your prize. Ticket number 876. It's Denise. Yay, it's me. Ticket number 876. Denise Andrews. Yes, baby. Baby, baby, baby. Baby shark, shark, shark. Baby shark is dead. Good. Hated that song. Well done, Denise Andrews. Fantastic. Okay. This will be in the post for you this afternoon, dear. Posted at a post box in Woodhall Spa. I kid you not, my darling. And also that goes in there, okay? So you might even win the super draw as well. What is the super draw prize? Oh, it's a bottle, isn't it? We've got a bottle as the super draw prize this week, okay? Well done, Denise Andrews. Round of applause, please, for Denise Andrews. Well done, darling, okay? All right. Denise, could you send me your address? Your full address with the postcode, and excellent. I'll put that in the post box for you a little bit later on. All right, my love. Thanks so much to Michael Pullman, who sends in this story for us this morning from the Daily Mail. And that is, a man has lived to tell his remarkable tale after being bitten twice. Hey, go on, have a guess. What's that? Trust in me, close your eyes. I would like to be a snake in another life, with two heads. A man has lived to tell his remarkable tale after being bitten twice by a highly venomous brown snake in the space of 12 months. This bloke in the Gold Coast in Australia was first attacked in dunes at picturesque Kingscliff Beach in New South Wales. He don't look that young. How old? How old is he then? Blimey, maybe that's why he survived, because his young people can fight off like that coronavirus thing. They fight that off better than us, don't they? After spotting the deadly brown snake slithering away, he briefly sat on the beach before the pain in his leg became unbearable. Incredibly, the second attack was a fortnight ago at his home in Miami, but that's on the Gold Coast, not in America. I've stepped out of my way to get a slab of beer. What's a slab of beer? I don't know what that is. A slab of beer. I don't know what that is. Let me just Google that phrase. One moment, please. Okay, it's a big box of beer. It's a load of beer. A case of beer. Fair enough. Okay, so we're fine. I didn't know that expression. I stepped out on my way to get a slab of beer, and then the snake bit me. Gosh. I honestly thought I'd soon be having a cup of tea with God. I didn't end up getting that case of beer either. How disappointing. The Australian lads, they like their beer. Oh, they can drink, mate. They can drink. So one thing, going out to Sydney and walking around there, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the pubs are packed. Absolutely rammed. Not like here. Don't happen anymore, does it? A bloke in charge of Southeast reptile snakes says the chap was very unlucky to be bitten twice before stating October apparently is a peak breeding season for snakes in Australia. You don't want to go there. Don't go in October. Snakes everywhere. They're hanging from blooming lampposts and everything when you're walking along Oxford Street in Sydney. Dreadful, dear. There you are. At church. You can't go to church. Sydney Cathedral, St Mary's. You go there, the priest is doing the whole thing, and he lifts the chalice up, and a snake pops out of the chalice. It's frightening. That's what it's like in Australia. Very dangerous place. We're not supposed to be there, I'm telling you now. God created Australia for dangerous animals. We're not supposed to be there. This week alone, the bloke in charge of the snake... Southeast reptile snakes has relocated 25 snakes from the Gold Coast homes in nearby bushland. I mean, they get in your bed. Very dangerous. Snakes in the bed with you. You won't notice until one slides inside you. It can do terrible damage. Brown snakes have highly potent venom, and bites need to be treated immediately. If left untreated, the bite has the potential to kill a human in half an hour. Oh, there's one of them. Oh, they look particularly evil. Do you want to see one? Yes, please, Chris. Yes, okay. One moment, please. One moment. There you go. These look really evil. Now, this is the sort of thing great niece Evie likes. She likes evilness. Here we are. How evil does that look? Look how thick and wide his body is. Just imagine if that was in bed with you. The damage. You'd need nude kidneys after a session with that, wouldn't you? Look. Evil. I mean, what is it with snakes? They're not very happy creatures, are they? Look. Don't look happy, does it? Not like budgerigars. They look happy, don't they? Don't you think? Why do snakes look so goddamn miserable all the time? They never smile. Budgerigars look happy, don't they? Don't you think budgerigars look happy? Tweet, 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 tweet. I suppose some animals some just look miserable all the time. Well, you've only got to look in the chat box to see the comparison between snakes and some of the people in the chat box. And you've also only got to look in the chat box to see how happy people and how you can relate them to perhaps a budgerigar. You make up your own minds who's who on there. But then there are other animals who do show their different types of emotion. Cats, for example. Cats love you, they will do this. Cat happy? Cat starting to get angry, eyes open. Cat very angry, ears go back, eyes like this. Cat very, very angry and about to attack. Dogs as well. You can tell an angry dog and a happy dog. Again, referring to the word dog. Have a look at the chat box here and some people. Hello to Simon in for scuba diving. Hello, Simon. Snakes look unhappy because they worry about biting their tongues. I keep doing that. Do you know what I keep doing, Simon? And I don't, it's blooming dangerous. And I had a really bad incident of it actually on Saturday night. My mate was round me house watching the latest episode of the excellent Star Trek Discovery series. And I'm eating my dinner. Oh, what were we having? Chips, I think. Slim as well chips. And I've got my tea and I'm swallowing it like that. And it's gone down the wrong hole. And that keeps happening. I don't know why it keeps happening. I think more probably I'm gulping it down. That's why. And then you start the coughing trying to get it up. But of course it doesn't come straight up, does it? Not immediately. And I had to go outside. I was really coughing badly. I thought, this is it. But it wasn't, and I'm still here. I may be a ghost for all you know. I hope to appear in front of people's televisions in many years to come as a hologram. Quite like the idea of being a hologram, really. Coughing my guts up, it was awful. That's what happened. Right. John Parrish says, you're right, Chris. On the subject of the pictures that I sent. You see, he sent me this half an hour after we were doing it. I mean, the bloke's on another planet completely, isn't he? He's got no idea what's going on around him. You remember the story of the dementia we mentioned earlier, John? You're right, Chris. I'm far too quick. I think it's because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. So I rush everything. I do. You'll be 97 one day. Then you'll know what I mean. I think we're going to have to ask Sherry, DMP, who has her own channel. Perhaps, Sherry, could you take over the texting from John? Because he's not got a clue what he's doing. Poor old soul. By the way, are you claiming the carer's allowance now? You know you can do that. Oh, yes, there's a carer's allowance you can claim, my love. Get money for that. And God knows you must blooming well earn it, my love. Jeez. Oh, look what I found on the garage coming up here. I was very naughty on Saturday night coming up here. Look. Chocolate. Why did I buy it? Cling! £1 for all that. So much pleasure in a little. Just imagine how much I'd have to spend taking a lad out, right? Trying to be nice to him and all that. How much would I have to spend certain lads going out? Oh, are you going to take me to... You don't want to know the amount of times that lads have said that to me. Are you going to take me out to afternoon tea? And silly old fool I am, I have once or twice. And the tea finishes and they go home. Don't have to do that anymore. Just buy myself a cake. Put some nice telly on and sit there and eat that. So much cheaper. It's all about the money. Anyway, watch out for those brown snakes. Such miserable creatures. Two more stories here. Woman has been left absolutely mortified after donating the wrong bag to a charity shop. Good morning to Jeff. Morning to Jeff. Thanks so much for your email, Jeff. Nice to see you sending a little email there. Thank you, Jeff. I'll sort that out for you shortly. Woman left absolutely mortified. A woman says she was physically cringing in a ball of shame for 40 minutes when she realised she had accidentally donated a bag of very personal items to her local charity shop. The mum explains that she and her husband had been having a clear out and were bagging up a lot of their old possessions for donations. Nothing wrong with that. They went through babies' clothes, toys, wardrobes and kitchen drawers doing the declutter. And the woman said she also had to sort through her private quarters. This came in the form of a bedside drawer, which contained adult toys. I don't like them. Adult toys. I think they're disgusting. I remember the first time someone ever mentioned to me adult toys, and I just thought they were like expensive toys that children couldn't afford. You know, like electric trains that you could ride on, you know, thousands of pounds. No, they're not. They're disgusting things. And I want no part of them on this show now. Beads and... oh. Come on, Chris. You must have some of those beads, someone said to me. Well, I've got rosary beads. Is that what you mean? No. They're much larger. Beads. I don't even like the word. Beads. Horrible word. And them other things. They're like electric toothbrushes with no brush on the end. Bzzz. Or a little bit of sick come up then. Anyway, her bedside drawer contained adult toys, as well as other important items, including some very sentimental jewellery. She put the contents of the drawer into a bag to put away again when they were done, but during the clear-out of her old clothes, accidentally threw some dresses on top and forgot all about it. It was only after she dropped off the pile of bags to two very nice old dears, well, that could have been my sister and someone else, I suppose, at her nearby charity shop, and returned home that she realised the calamitous mistake. She wrote the effing penny. Oh, the language. Yeah, it makes sense now, doesn't it? The language, the adult toys. We know what sort of person this is, my darlings. I don't have this sort of person on my chat box. The effing penny, she says, dropped so hard. I'm sorry to talk about such things, Shania, head of the Catholic Church on the Isle of Wight. But these are things that happen in life, so I feel that I have to comment. I've never felt the sensation of physically cringing in shame like this before. After I was able to stop saying, oh my God, and explain to my husband what I'd done, I crawled up into a ball with my hands over my ears for about 40 minutes trying to process it. Did you not have a little safe space to go to? Was it giving you anxiety? Was it, my love? Poor thing. She said she wishes she could have written it off and never returned the bag. Unfortunately, also contained a necklace a very dear and departed friend had given to him. What, you kept it in the same drawer as those disgusting, mucky things? You dirty cow! Oh, that's awful. So someone's dead. She gave them this special thing that belonged to her, and she's put it in the same drawer as those mucky, nasty things. Returning to the shop the following day, she asked if she could take a look in the bag to find a bag that she had donated by mistake. The member of staff asked what the bag contained to enable her to identify it, and after an awkward conversation, the pair came to a mutual understanding as to what she had handed over by mistake. She relayed the conversation. Does it have, batteries? The worker had asked, yes, it is a... Is it a adult toy? Yes, I whispered, eyes down at the floor. Oh dear. Well, it serves you right for having such disgusting things in your house. Awful. Very, very awful. Yeah, I think we'll do one more story, and then we'll do today's birthdays. Piers Morgan. Not one of my favourite people, although I do think he talks a lot of sense a lot of the time, Piers Morgan. He's just too bouthy for me, not my cup of tea, really. Sir Cliff Richard teared up when talking about his late father on tonight's instalment, or last night's instalment, of the Piers Morgan life stories, something that I must admit I've never seen before. His dad died when he was 56, following complications with thrombosis. Well, I mean, for your dad to die at 56, that's not bad. My dad died when I was 37. And my mum, when I was... I beg your pardon, my dad died when I was 32. And my mum at 37. And... I can relate to this story. It says, when looking back over his fruitful career, the summer holiday hitmaker, this is in the Metro this morning, got emotional as he recalled certain moments he had wished his father had witnessed. 20 years is a tough age to look your father, Piers said. Hang on a minute, he just said 57. 1 minute. His dad died when he was just 56 years... Okay, all right, so his dad was 56. All right, I get it now. 20. He's lost his father at 20. Okay, I get it now. I've read that wrong. So he lost his father when he was 20. Piers said, it's a tough age to lose your father, Piers said to him, before asking whether Sir Cliff got to say everything he wanted to his dad before he tragically died. Well, do any of us? I don't think so. There is stuff I wish I'd had said now to both my mother and father. It goes on to say, it wasn't easy for us, really, but he was a naughty person, really. He did smoke a lot. But no, I didn't. As he pressed his voice cracked. That's why I feel sometimes that my anger, if I've got any, comes out when I think he missed the best things in my life. He never saw the knighthood, the musician stated through blurry eyes. It's sad. Everything that dad, he was one that was right behind me, and when he became part of the management group, he's the one that kept me on the track and continued to remind me, this is what you're going to do. Now, I must say, my father was very, very supportive of whatever I did. I remembered when I was working for BT, and I told him I was going to leave BT and become a DJ. And was in the living room, and he said, "Well," he said, "my mum's told you what you want to do. We're not sure that you're making the right choice, but we'll stand behind you whatever you want to do." And they did see me become a DJ, and I did very well. I was quite popular years ago, long time ago now. But I was getting work left, right, and centre, and they didn't really see that. I tell you what, I really would like them to have seen me doing a little show on the BBC and having my clip played out on the BBC Look North back in January now. I wish they would have seen that. They would have been really pleased to see that. And for me, that part of my life, I just wish that they were able to see that. Perhaps they can. We don't know, do we? We're not dead yet. Well, some of you are by the looks of things, to be honest. But we're not dead yet. But yes, so I completely and totally understand that. There's probably moments in your life, perhaps, if your mother and father or someone in your life has died and you think to yourself, I wish they'd have seen me doing that. You know? I'd much rather them have seen me doing that than anyone else. But of course they didn't. I wonder if they ever thought that I might actually get on to have been able to do that. Don't get me wrong, I don't have a regular radio or TV show on anything as important as the BBC, but I did do it. And Mum heard me on Liberty Radio, which was in London, so she heard that. So I do understand where Cliff's coming from there. Piers continued to press the singer on if there was any specific milestone he wished his dad had seen to be alive. Wish his dad had been alive to see. And Sir Cliff didn't even have to think about it. He immediately went back to meeting the Queen. When the Queen came to me with a sword, Cliff said I was a nervous wreck. You would be though, wouldn't you? And when she tapped me on the shoulder, he said, would my dad been there, it would have been fantastic. I would loved him to have seen that. So there we are. A little bit about the great Cliff Richard there. And he is a great man, isn't he, old Cliff Richard, eh? I like him very much. Let's do today's birthdays. Happy birthday on this Monday, the 26th of October, 2020, to Khaitie. Good morning, Khaitie. Morning, looking beautiful as ever. Happy birthday to Khaitie Delatey today. Alan Warren today is 72 years old. Morning, Alan. Adam Ludlow today is 41 years old. Luca Pietro Zanelli is 33 years old. Bob Eberth is 70 years old. Peachees is 34 years old. Tom Harris today is 58 years old. Ayrton Key, good morning to you, Ayrton. Happy birthday today. And Andrew Walker today is 41 years old. So to each and every one of you on this Monday, the 26th of October 2020, happy birthday. I just wish I could find the happy birthday. There it is. I couldn't find this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Twice, coronavirus. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Alrighty. Okay, night, boys and girls. Let's do today's raffle tickets. We've got another fridge magnet to give away for you next Monday. If you'd like a raffle ticket, please speak now. And here we go. Fran Green, First up there, Fran Green, 947 for Fran. Thank you, Fran. Jeff Burley is 948. Maureen is 949. We've got a little bingo game coming up as well in a moment or two. Okay, Peter Wright is 950. Michael Pullman is 951. Jason Hughes, 952. Diane Jebb, 953. Colin Kay, 954. Mick Davenport, 955. Mr. Tech Sparky, 956. Daniel Holmes, 957. Ross Herndon, 958. John Parrish, 959. Denise Andrews, 960. Let's just get a few more out, my loves. What do we get to? Denise. Gary Ross, 961. Tony King, 962. Oh, didn't I do you already, Tony? No, that's okay. Tony King, 962. Shania, 963. Is that everyone? That's everyone. If I've missed anyone out, please speak nice and quickly there, my love. George Bond, 964. Think that's everyone. Christopher Williams, 965. Anyone else? Nice and quick. Do you know what? We should have a clock. We need a clock. There it is. We'll have that. You now have 1.5 minutes. That's it now. There's a new features in the show. Just gets better and better. Better and better and better. A new feature of the show. As I finish the raffle tickets, once I've finished, I'll give you 1.5 minutes to claim if you haven't already got one. You now have 1.5 minutes to claim your ticket if you haven't got one yet. All right? And while this is playing, if you're leaving us here, goodbye. Thank you very much for joining us today. And we'll be back with you, of course, tomorrow morning at 8:45. We've still got our little game of bingo to play. John Aitken, thank you, John. 966. Daniel Holmes has shouted bingo when there's no bingo playing, so you get a 5-minute tea break, Daniel Holmes. Okay. John Aitken there. Anyone else? Is that everyone's ticket? You're running out of time if you want a raffle ticket. Oh, look at the time. Goes so quick. Okay, doke, boys and girls, it's time for our daily game of bingo. Let's bring up the bingo board. There it is. You have now got your bingo tickets standing. Why isn't that? There it is. Bingo tickets standing by. You ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Let's play bingo. Eyes down. Here comes your first number. Oh, hang on a minute. There we go. 4 and 2, 42. Two Little Ducks, 22. Quack, quack. Good morning, Paul in Amsterdam. Morning, sir. 3 and 6, 36. All the threes, 33. 8 and 9, 89. 1 and 4, 14. 2 and 6, 26. 4 and 3, 43. All on its own, number 3. 4 and 1, 41. 5 and 4, 54. 2 and 7, 27. 8-0, blind 80. 5-0, blind 50. 4-0, blind 40. 4 and 8, 48. 7 and 8, 78. 6 and 4, 64. 2 and 8, 28. 6 and 1, 61. 5 and 6, 56. 1 and 9, 19. 6 and 5, 65. Oh, something's gone wrong over there. One moment, please. What have I done there? That's it. Okay. All on its own. No, One Little Duck, number 2. Quack. 1 and 2, 12. 8 and 1, 81. 5 and 2, 52. 7 and 6, 76. 5 and 3, 53. Keep up. 3 and 4, 34. 4 and 5, 45. 5 and 8, 58. Thank you, Mick. Bye-bye to you, sir. 6 and 3, 63. 2 and 3, 23. On its own, number 9. 4 and 7, 47. 1 and 6, it's sweet 16. 3 and 7, 37. All the sixes. Yeah, click, baby. Oh, 6 and 8, 68. 6 and 7, 67. 1 and 5, 15. 1 and 3, unlucky for some, 13. 8 and 3, 83. All on its own, no talent for Gemma Collins, number 8. 6 and 2, 62. 5 and 9, the Brighton line. Woo, woo. 7 and 4, 74. 7-0, blind 70. All on its own, number 7. All the 7s, 77. 7 and 2, 72. 1 and 8, 18. 4 and 9, 49. 2 and 9, 29. 2 and 1, 21. All the 5s, 55. 3 and 2, 32. All 1 and 7, 17. All on its own. One click. Number 6. 6 and 9, 69. All the What? All the 4s, 44. 8 and 6, 86. 7 and 1, 71. 2 fat Gemma Collinses, completely untalented, number 88. Top of the shop, blind 90. 5 and 7, 57. 4 and 6, 46. 3-0, blind 30. 8 and 5, 85, and we have a winner on 85. And you have 1 minute and 30 seconds to claim your prize. Who's got the extra raffle ticket today? I'm ready to write your name down. Someone was asking when will I do another chat box show. That'd be one night. We'll do it night time, okay? Be warned, don't say things unless you definitely want an answer, okay? ba da ba 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 da da ba 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 ba. And Peter Wright claims bingo. Let's check Peter Wright's numbers for the extra bingo ticket today, and they are 3, 17, 22, 26, 34, 43, 45, 52, 57, 65, 67, 70, 71, last number 85 and 89. Peter Wright gets the extra bingo ticket today. And it's gone. Ticket number 967 for Peter Wright. 967 for Peter Wright. You're just underneath John Aitken, and my money's on the fact that he'd never want you underneath him, but there we go. Well done to Peter Wright today. Is that it, my loves? Is that it? I think that might be it. We're finished already. It goes so quickly, time. Thank you very much for your likes today. If you didn't, perhaps you'd like to give it a little like on the way out, all right? Thanks so much to Michael Lawrence today for the £5 tip. Very kind of you as well, sir. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8:45. Remember, there'll be a chat box show, but I don't know where it's going to go at the moment. Might even be tonight. Who knows? Always make sure you have your little notifications thing set on. But do remember, on the chat box show, if you don't want an answer, don't ask the question. Bye, love. And remember, I'd like to say that I love each and every one of you. But I don't. It's just a few. Bye, bitches.